it's your girl Tiffany, Madam Luscious Black Beauty, your poetic psychic Pisces, High Priestess, aka the light that shines like a diamond. Y'all are gonna have to excuse me, honey. Look, it's one of them days I did not feel like putting on no makeup, okay? So deal with it, okay? You do not have to wear makeup every day. Anyway, so guys, I'm getting ready to do a couple of things, okay? But on tonight, I am going to introduce one of my most recent segments, okay, to my channel. I am going to implement something that I'm calling story time with the poetic psychic Pisces High Priestess. Okay, so these are going to be original stories that I have created, okay, by yours truly, which is myself, and I'm going to recite these stories to you all. Okay, so these are like off the dome stories, okay. Nobody else's work, okay. I have no need to copy off of anybody else. Let's just get that understood, okay. As y'all see here, I have a whole list of my own titled readings and messages and different things that I do, okay. So this just adds to the list of all other things that I do, guys, okay. So I'm going to start having something kind of like my poetic expression moments, but the poetic expression moments are my poems that I write and then recite to you all, okay. So the story time with poetic psychic Pisces High Priestess, which is myself, is going to be original stories that I have written. And as you can see, this story is written in my handwriting here, okay, all my work, okay. So we won't have any discrepancies about that, okay, guys. So I do hope everyone is doing well and feeling well on tonight, and without any further ado, we are going to get right into the messages, okay, guys. So give me just a minute. I'm going to cleanse, okay, do a bit of a prayer, a meditation, and then we're going to get started with tonight's video, okay, which is going to be me introducing, like I said, this new segment of story time, okay. So get comfy, get your drinks, honey, get whatever you need, get cozy, get comfortable, okay, because it's gonna be worth listening to, okay. So give me just a minute, guys, and we're going to get started. Tonight's storytime title is The Oceanic Murderous Mermaid. A lonely but radiantly beautiful, mystical colored mermaid, isolated in a royal area of the sea all on her own. Meanwhile, all the other pools of fish are long gone in tribes of their own. However, this dazzling mermaid, now like a fish out of water, without a merman to guide her, is roaming about in a wondrous, wicked world, trying to find her way. Yet along her path, in what seems to be an endless journey to nowhere, comes the danger of enemies whom seek to hurt, lead astray, and distract her. No matter the obstacles in her way, this mermaid is used to being betrayed. Amongst her life's quests, many have she encountered to cause her distress. Her neglectful father, the water barrier, absent from her life. Her mean and surly mother, the flaming water scorcher, jealous, hateful, and mistreated her all her life. Then are the envious, evil siblings, full of backstabbing, betrayal, disloyalty, and spite. Nevertheless, heartbroken in hand, this mermaid swam away from the unfortunate drama from her childhood a long time ago. But the monsters she has come to into contact with has proven to be far more dangerous, which brings us to the present day. Back in the comfort of soothing water from which she come from, washing away the blood, sweat, tears, and pain from her palms, the mermaid mesmerized about what she has overcome and how she survived all the torture she endured. It was the middle of summer, on a hot but windy day, when a mermaid minding her own business met a snake. This sleek, black, shiny snake was so smooth as they come, slithering away, whispering his sweet nothings in the hopes of getting what he wants. Just as nice as can be, however a little naive, the mermaid gave the snake the time of day, whom eagerly wrapped himself tight around her all the way to her neck. In that moment, while the snake stared at the mermaid face to face, he strangled her tighter and tighter. And before she knew it, while gasping for a breath of air, that big black snake viciously gave her a bite in an attempt to take the mermaid's life. And after the damage was done, the mermaid left limp, numb, and laying there motionless. That sneaky snake loosened his grip, thinking the poor mermaid was done for. Yet that snake had no idea the kind of power the mermaid had inside of her. He eventually slithered away, and being the natural healer the mermaids are, she healed from that snake bite, determined to never be fooled by the snakes of the world again. Going about her way with a valuable lesson learned, along came a wolf, whom was clearly disturbed. But the mermaid, in all of her grace, sought to help the wolf, whom reached out to her for a shoulder to lean and cry on. The mermaid listened to all the wolf's woes, giving him wise counsel, feeding him, and providing care that he had never had before. He accompanied the mermaid one night, then two, but on the third day, as the clock struck 6, the wolf's drunken rant turned into a fight, violent with rage. The wolf screamed in anger, letting out the most awful growls, and in a blink of the mermaid's eyes, the wolf began to throw punch after punch with his big, large, bare paws, scratching and scraping, bruising and abusing the mermaid that had done nothing more than give him all. The mermaid, saddened with pain in her eyes, fought back that wolf with everything she had. Shocked at the strength the mermaid had, the cowardly wolf finally left her alone, but not before he ravaged her home. While healing once again, the mermaid thought to herself, "This too shall pass." Only now the sweet mermaid, whom once had high hopes, has filled with rage and a ruthlessness, cutthroat mentality, which has replaced her pain. Taking a vow to remain guarded from now on, in the back of her mind, she knew, regardless to the heartache and pain, life must go on. Only now, the once lively mermaid has been in hermit mode, sitting in silence, thinking, wondering, daydreaming about how could her life possibly go on. But now many months has passed, and the sun has seemed to have faded away as the end of fall turned into winter, and each day becomes colder and colder. Yet still friendly, the mermaid is no longer interested in being anybody's victim. But one day in late December, the mermaid came across a very interesting character. Although the mermaid never had a true friend in her life, this lady seemed to have caught her eye. Now, needless to say, but this mermaid has never been the type to either approach or chase. But in that moment of thought, the mysterious woman seemed to have read her mind. Now, standing before her to say hello, the mermaid kindly replied, "Same to you as well." Although this woman was surely beautiful, there was something very sinister the mermaid could sense from her. The two continued to chat when this strange lady asked if the mermaid would like to continue their conversation back at her house. The mermaid reluctantly agreed, but upon arrival, the mysterious lady offered her a cup of tea. The mermaid gestured sure and thank you, and the two of them sat, talked, and sipped their tea. However, it wasn't until the second cup that the mermaid felt woozy. Then instantly it struck her the reason why the lady seemed so sinister. As her eyes became heavier and heavier, she seen that beautiful woman shape shift into a beast right in front of her. She knew then she had been drugged. "You witch!" the mermaid screamed as she blacked out on the sofa. When the helpless mermaid awakened, she laid naked on the witch's altar. She looked around and couldn't believe her eyes when she seen not only the snake, the wolf, the beastly witch, but even her very own mother, father, and evil siblings. You see, this all was a setup to sacrifice her. Everything the mermaid endured was literally staged on purpose in an attempt to kill her, harvest her soul, and steal her spiritual gifts. The mermaid grew more and more angry as she lay naked and afraid, hoping, wishing, and waiting for the perfect opportunity to escape. So sure of themselves, believing the mermaid to be hopeless and near death, they all gathered together for a satanic chant, ritual, and conjuring of the demons they wished to have devour her. With their backs turned, the mermaid wiggled and squirmed, using all her strength to release herself from bondage. So much so, the mermaid fractured her wrists, pulling her arm free from the metal leather straps. With one arm free, the mermaid, dazed and in pain, hurried to free herself from the remainder of straps and chains. By the time the mermaid removed all the bondage, the snake was the first to turn around and see her escaping. Slithering as fast as he could, he rushed towards the mermaid in a haste. But on a table next to her, where the mermaid was, several weapons lay that was used for their sacrificial rituals. The mermaid, aching with agony and pain, picked up that machete that lay on the table. When the snake approached the mermaid, she swung with everything she could, chopping off the head of the snake. The mermaid then threw the head of the snake into the witch's pot. In that very moment, the wolf came charging full speed toward her. Without even a moment to think, the mermaid picked up a gun and shot every bullet into the big bad bully wolf. He too, the mermaid, added to the witch's brewing pot. Covered in blood, the mermaid frantically searched for her clothes before the others came for her. As she dressed, the mermaid's pain was so severe she had to rest. So she snuck into one of the witch's spare rooms. To her surprise, she found more weapons than surely the law allowed. Unsure of what to grab, she hurried and grabbed a knife, then hid behind the door as she heard someone coming. Heart pounding, the mermaid waited in silence. Then the door swung open as her sisters entered the room. Not spotting her behind the door, the mermaid, but as they turned to exit, she sprung into action, stabbing her sister in the back for all the time she backstabbed and betrayed her. By then, the mermaid's other sister began to try to wrestle the knife away from her. But full of rage and adrenaline, the mermaid was able to overpower her as she plunged the knife in her gut. But before it was all over, the mermaid slit the throat of the copycat doppelganger sister. Frustrated and tired, the mermaid knew the battle wasn't over. Her brothers, mother, father, and that wicked witch were still hunting and looking for her. In a haste, the mermaid sprinted down the hall and opened the first door she saw. Ironically, behind this door was no ordinary room, as she thought, but a long staircase leading to another door. With no time to change her mind and go another way, the mermaid closed the first door behind her and ran up the stairs. Not knowing what was behind the second door, the mermaid cautiously turned the knob slowly. To her surprise, upon walking in the room which led to the third floor of the witch's mysterious home, were 6 cages containing none other than several other helpless people the witch had lured and captured. Determined to free them, the mermaid nervously looked around the dimly lit room for a key to unlock the cages. The 4 women and 2 young men squirmed in their cages, begging to be freed. The mermaid shushed them to keep the others from hearing them, and assured them that she would release them as soon as she could find a way to unlock the chains. In that moment, a young boy said, "Look in the drawer next to the door. The witch always put the keys there." Sure enough, the mermaid found the keys in the drawer just where the young boy said they would be. Running out of time, the mermaid hurried to unlock every cage. The 7 of them huddled up together to come up with a plan to escape the horrid mansion. The only problem was the wicked witch, the mermaid's parents, and 3 brothers whom stood in their way. So the team of them looked around the room for anything they could use as weapons. One of the captured women spake up with the lightest, most soft-spoken voice and said, "The witch had a torture closet with a chest full of weapons she called toys." Behind a curtain one would have thought to be a window, yet was another door to a large walk-in closet. This closet was equipped with all kinds of malicious things and set up as a torture room to abuse her victims. The group of them found whips, chains, straps, gags, saws, power tools, knives of all sizes, guns, poisons, and so much more. In shock, the mermaid thought, "Oh my God, the witch is a sadist." They grabbed all the weapons they could carry, and one right after another, they made their way down the stairs. Once they got to the second door on the bottom floor, they could hear the voices of the witch and others angrily discussing how and where to find the mermaid. At this point, it hadn't dawned on the witch that the mermaid found her chamber room of horror. They thought the mermaid was merely hiding. The group of them waited anxiously by the door until they heard the voices fade away into another room. All at once, they quietly opened the door and crept down the hall. The witch and others decided to split up to hunt for the mermaid, thinking that decision was smart on their part. In fact, it gave the victims the perfect opportunity to attack them one by one. In the living room stood the 3 brothers, with their backs turned from the entrance to the door. The mermaid told the group, "Okay, on the count of 3, we are going to ambush them all at once." The group agreed. 1, 2, 3. And all 7 of them ran towards the brothers, whom quickly turned around to defend themselves. The first brother was hit in the head with an axe by the young men in the group. 2 of the women launched at the second brother, one cracking him in the chest with the whip, while the other lady sliced the back of his ankles. When he fell to the ground, the pair of the ladies stabbed him repeatedly, 120 times. The mermaid, with the electric saw in her hand, along with the other two women, one with a sledgehammer and the other with a bow and arrow, all charged toward the third brother. The lady with the bow shot, landing the arrow right in the stomach of the brother. The other lady took the hammer and shattered his knees. But after all the mermaid's brother sent her through, she wasn't satisfied until she saw poor brother sawed in half. Blood and guts was everywhere, but it was what had to be done if the group of them were going to make it out of this haunted mansion alive. Tired and shaken with fear, they all tiptoed towards the kitchen where Mother Dearest and Deadbeat Father were. But as they approached the dining room, the witch turned a corner, outraged all at once to see her captured victims free, and the mermaid all at once. She screamed and cursed tongue a spell upon all of us. Mother and Father heard the commotion and hurried in to see what was going on. "What are we going to do now?" said one of the women. The mermaid told the men to attack the witch, seeing that they were the strongest, but don't kill her just yet, and the rest of them would deal with Mother and Father. They all ran towards one another all at the same time. Having them outnumbered surely benefited us more. The women circled the Mother and Father duo, both of which yelling their obscenities. The young men tackled the witch and tied, bound, and gagged her to a chair at the table next to her cauldron. Then they all slaughtered the Mother and the Father, and in the process chopping off their head, arms, legs, and other limbs. Mission complete. The group cheered in excitement, yet and still with one last task to conquer. They gathered the bodies of the three brothers, two sisters, the snake, the wolf, and the Mother and Father, laying their bodies on the table in front of the witch. They chopped the body parts into pieces and added them to the witch's stew pot of brew, while allowing the gross simmering of body parts to tender. They prepared the table before the wicked witch for her feast. The mermaid served the witch a steamy hot cup of tea laced with arsenic poisoning, and the rest of the group found a big soup bowl that included the ingredients from her pot. Before feeding the witch the awful concoction, the secret seven gave her a dose of her own medicine, beating her with whips and chains, torturing her body slowly as she had did those she had in cages. And finally, the grand finale had come. The secret seven fed the witch the remains of her counterparts, topping it off with a big gulp of tea, which killed the witch slow and steady. The mermaid, kind nature returned, as she and the witch's other victims gladly left that old house of horrors. She couldn't see herself seeing them off alone, so the mermaid assisted each of them one by one back to their homes. The end. In conclusion, guys, the author's character descriptions. A few of the characters depicted in this story were referred to as animals or other worldly beings, whereas all of them were indeed human, yet embodied the animal they represented, except for the mermaid and the shape-shifting witch, whom were both hybrid beings. The snake. If the reader didn't understand, the snake was a slick individual whom tempted the mermaid. The mermaid engaged willingly, not aware of the rapist and murderer she befriended. But that vicious snake took advantage of the mermaid during a sexual encounter and tried to kill her and leave her for dead. The wolf, at first glance, appearing as a person in need due to stress and depression, while suffering from unhealed childhood traumas and addictions of his own, turned him bitter, cold hearted, and violent to the core. That of which the mermaid found out the hard way by trial and error. When welcoming the wolf, to her home, yet again unaware, the wolf suffered from blackout rages and multiple personality disorder. The witch, not at all ugly as most may think, but actually her human form was quite beautiful. Upon first meeting, she came off as kind and friendly, only to succor and lead astray her next victim. However, her beastly form was quite the opposite. If one could imagine the DNA combination of a bear, a dinosaur, a gator, and a lizard all in one, and just what that character would look like, then that would be the witch in her shape-shifting form. What a awfully scary sight to see. Evil mother dearest, evil deadbeat dad, 3 wicked sisters, and 3 demonic brothers were all human indeed, but their hateful nature and abusive ways towards the mermaid was definitely unfair and unjust. The mermaid was treated like an orphan, an scapegoat and black sheep of the family. They all were jealous, envious, and hated her because of her spiritual gifts, beauty, and power. All of them stopped at nothing to betray the mermaid. Disloyalty, lies, and deceptions is how they tortured her every day. And even after they isolated her and left her alone with nothing and no one, they continued their attempts to try to end her life. Okay, you guys, that concludes tonight's story time with Poetic Psychic Pisces, High Priestess. I do hope you enjoyed the story. If so, please like, share, and subscribe. For those of you who would like to contact me, you can do so at tiffanyziegler60@gmail.com. If you would like to donate to the channel, it would be greatly, greatly appreciated, and you can do so through Cash App at $TiffDiamond36 at yes, sorry guys, I was getting ready to give you the email again. So you can donate through Cash App, okay, y'all? It's $TiffDiamond36, okay? You will enable me to help and to heal as many other people as I so possibly can, guys. I'm very versatile, okay? I like doing a lot of different things, a mixture of different things. I'm not like anybody else. I don't work like anybody else. I don't, I'm different, okay? I'm set apart in a different way. But out of everything I do, I absolutely love writing, okay? So I write a lot, and I just wanted to share with you all one of my stories on tonight, which I am going to frequently do on my channel, along with all the other readings and messages that I do as well, okay? I'm going to be working on the next missing mystery and getting some other videos done for the collective as well, guys, okay? So as I tell you all, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, but most of all, take care of your babies, okay? Y'all watch your surroundings, watch the company you keep, and keep you some protection on you, okay? Y'all be safe, okay? Happy holidays to all of you. Until the next time, guys, peace, love, and light, okay? Y'all stay awake, stay aware, stay vigilant, and stay prepared, okay? Because as I always say, if you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready, baby, okay? I am that I am, created in the image of God. Namaste.